Aphantasia. Doesn't that sound like a cool word? Yeah. So today I'm going to tell you about a condition that I have called aphantasia. Let's start off with a little bit of a definition. So we've clearly got Wikipedia here. Aphantasia. Aphantasia is the inability to visualize mental images. That is, not being able to picture something in one's mind. Many people with aphantasia are also unable to recall sounds, smells, or sensations of touch. Some also report prosopagnosia. Prosopagnosia. The inability to recognize faces. So, what does all that mean? I can't visualize anything in my mind at all. Nothing. It's blank. It's black. So like if I said to you, close your eyes and imagine a purple elephant wearing a tutu with a big shiny crown flying through the sky. How much of that can you see? Like how much can you visualize in your mind? Because I've got nothing. It's blank. Basically what I have is like a running description of what that would look like, but not visual. I can't see it. I basically have the same description that I just gave to you. I get sometimes what I can only describe as like a faint glass outline. So if I said to you, close your eyes and imagine a red triangle, a solid red triangle, like coloured in, filled in. Now I don't see that, but I see like a weird kind of outline-ish glow, but it's like glass. It's not a solid line. It's like it's barely anything. It's barely anything. It's like the suggestion of the triangle, but there's no colour. It's like a weird glassy outline. Yeah, so how do I know what things look like? Good question. It's like a mental description. So kind of like matrix code. Like, you know, like all the green matrix text, except I can't see that. It's like I have the understanding, like the knowledge of what it would look like. So like okay. My art skills, because of this, are shockingly bad. But that's not to say that I don't know what something looks like. So if I said, draw a car, yeah, because I know there's some wheels there, and there's like a window, but there's a windshield. Both of this looks the same. Wow. So in my mind, like that's as good as that's gonna get. Like I know a car is like a bit boxy, and you're gonna see two wheels from one side, and you're gonna see some doors. Wait, the doors would be like separate to the thing. Why this car is the same on both sides? This doesn't have a front. Like there'd be like a windscreen here, some lights. That's it. That's what all cars look like to me. I know that some are going to be like fancier than others. I know that some are boxier than others, and I can sort of imagine that cars have different curves. But like that's it. That's as good as that gets for me. Yeah. So I only found out about this about 5 years ago, and I was just scrolling through Facebook, and somebody had shared an article about it, and it just kind of said aphantasia. I was like, oh, that's a cool word. So I clicked on the article and like started reading. Oh, what's this about? And yeah, imagine my devastation as I started to read about it, and it was describing exactly what's been happening in my head my whole life, which I just thought was the same for everybody because I didn't know any different. I thought it was like, you know, when, you know, you're going to meditate and you're going to, picture yourself on a beach with like a calm ocean. Ooh. Like, I just thought that was hypothetical. Like, I didn't know you could actually see it. I genuinely cried. Properly cried when I realized that this was a thing. Yeah. Pretty devastated about it even now, to be honest. It's crazy. So it's suggested that about 1 in 50 people-ish have aphantasia. And it's a spectrum. And like most spectrums, most people are kind of in the middle. You have the other end of the spectrum, which is known as hyperphantasia. So it says somewhere down here, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. The term aphantasia is derived from the ancient Greek word phantasia, which translates to imagination, with the prefix of or a, which means without. So hyperphantasia is then like an over imagination, an abundance of imagination, if you will. To the point of, if you are a hyperphant, if you have hyperphantasia, not only do you have the ability to imagine and visualize, you can overlay this into your reality. This is the other extreme. So you can, like if I said to you right now, like, there's an apple in my hand. Some of you can literally, as you're watching this, you can put an apple in my hand and you can see it right there, as if you were looking at it clear as day, like reality. That's hyperphantasia. Imagine being able to like look at a wall and you could play out any film you wanted to. You could look at any of your memories, any cities you've been to, any landscapes you've seen. You can picture the whole thing right in front of you. Hyperphantasia. I have lived with 2 hyperphants previously, and the conversations we've had were just amazing. And I can't even comprehend it. I can't imagine it. Literally. It's amazing. And it's only about 1 in 100, approximately, that have hyperphantasia. And again, I imagine there's going to be some of you that hear this that just assumed it was that way for everyone. It's definitely not. It's definitely not. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's watch a quick video from BBC. This was in 2015. This is when it was, it first started to be recognised as a thing. I believe in the University of Exeter, they are currently doing some studies on this. And we're slowly seeing more information, more articles, more videos being made about this. So I find it super fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Let's hear what this guy has to say.
My name is Neil Kenmure. I have aphantasia, which means I can't create mental imagery. I have a blind mind's eye. I think I was always aware from quite an early age that it was a little bit different. What I experienced was different to what other people described. I remember my stepfather, when I couldn't sleep, told me to count sheep. And he explained what he meant, and I tried to do it, and I couldn't see any sheep jumping over fences. There was nothing to count. The hardest thing to describe is what happens in my head when I think about things. When I think about my fiancée, there's no image, but I am definitely thinking about her. I know today she has a hair up in a bun at the back, she's brunette, but I'm not describing an image that I'm looking at. I'm remembering features about her, and maybe that is a source of some regret. My mates generally say, "You're kidding, you're weird. So they ask me questions. They say, "So if I'm not here, can you see my face?" And I say, "No." And they, "What do you mean?" And sometimes it's like, I wonder if they're a little bit offended by that. People ask, how do I read books? People ask, what do I see? And I don't see anything. So they ask, how can I read? How can I do this and that? But I've always enjoyed reading. You know, meaning is conveyed through words. I think an awful lot of the great stuff about literature isn't about the images that it's purportedly portraying in people's minds, but it's about, you know, word structure and how sentences are formed. And I know what words mean. I know what sentences mean, but I can't create a beautiful image in my head of a scene that's being described in a book. And I probably read less literature like that, you know. My memory isn't very good. I can't remember specific instances of things, and they're certainly not tied up with images, because that's what's missing. If I'd had a mind's eye, would anything have turned out differently in my life? I do not know. I don't perceive it as a disability. It has been described as a neurological condition, which it might be. We'll probably find that there is a sliding scale of people that have incredibly vivid imaginations and maybe be able to recreate vivid cinematic scenes in their heads. I can't do that. The only thing that I think is inside my head is my own internal monologue.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Exactly that. Yeah, so my memory, also pretty shocking. I can't remember what anyone looks like. Again, so I have a running description. And once I've seen people enough times, people I've seen a lot in my life, then I'm going to recognize them. I'm going to know what they look like. People I've only met a few times, probably not going to remember you, and I won't be able to associate your face with your name. That's pretty devastating, because it looks like, if I meet someone again, it looks like I don't know you. I just have no ability to, I just won't be able to remember your face. I can't. And eventually, like I say, after enough times of meeting somebody, I'll have got a better description and therefore be able to remember people. But it's crazy. So it said somewhere, let's just go back here. Yeah, many people with aphantasia are also unable to recall sound, smells, or sensations to touch. Now, that's not the case for me. Yeah, smells, if I think about flowers or something, I can smell it. And if I say orange juice, I can pretty much taste it straight away. I can absolutely, my memory and my ability to recreate sounds and smells and tastes are really good. Sounds in particular, which would explain why I'm super into music and all sound related things. I can hear sound in my head whenever I want to. I basically have a massive jukebox. I can recall pretty much everything I've ever heard, listened to. I can hear everything all the time. Sensations of touch as well. Yep, I can picture what it would be like someone touching my arm. I can feel it. I can feel what that touch is like without it happening. Which is what that's referring to. Inability to recognize faces, that's definitely a thing. So yeah, what a bizarre thing. It was mentioned here. The phenomenon was first described by Francis Galton in 1880 in a statistical study about mental imagery, describing it as a common phenomenon among his peers. Remained largely unstudied until 2005 when, University of Exeter. Yeah, and in 2015 they published a paper on it. So it's really recent. It's been acknowledged, clearly, way before that, but we've only just now really started studying this. And I'm sorry to say there's going to be some of you that are watching this video now that had absolutely no idea that you had this, and now you do. And I know how distressed I was when I found out about this, so apologies for that. Truly. Odds are most of us with aphantasia are not great at art. Probably really good at life drawing. And anything to do with, looking at something in real world and copying it and drawing it, that's fine. I would imagine that most really good, most really creative artists, maybe like abstract art and things like that, they are probably hyperphants. It's such a weird thing to try and comprehend. The idea that you could see anything else you want over the top of everything that's happening around you. You can basically purposefully hallucinate at all times with hyperphantasia. That's crazy. You can you could overlay anyone's face onto anyone else's face. That's got to be pretty interesting relating to porn. Same goes if you were having sex with somebody, you could imagine anybody else over the top of the person you were having sex with. Yeah, that makes me deeply uncomfortable. I don't think I would ever date a hyperphant again. No. That's super weird. Yeah, no, I can't see a damn thing. I've never known it to be any other way, so I can't really say, like, how do I feel like it's affected my life? Well, it hasn't, because it's always been this way. No, it's not really like I had it and I lost it. Not that I know of anyway, not that I can remember. I don't think I had it as a child. Like, I don't think I could imagine as a child and then not do it now. I don't know. There were some suggestions that it might be linked to childhood trauma. There's also some suggestions that it might also be genetic. There have been some... where was this? This is interesting. So it first came up for this professor at university when a man who seemed to have lost the ability to visualize after undergoing minor surgery. So yeah, he had it and then lost it. And I would imagine that was actually more traumatic for sure than having never had it in the first place. Yeah, I mean, so far there's nothing to suggest that there's any kind of cure for this or a way to sort of trigger your visual imagination or be able to, like, induce it in some capacity. It raises some interesting questions about the use of psychedelics and the differences between, like, actual hallucinations and imagination. Now, I've never done any, actually. No mushrooms, no DMT or anything like that. I would be super, super interested to see if any of that even has an effect on me. There's a very real possibility that I could take mushrooms and absolutely nothing would happen whatsoever. Nothing. But I don't know if it's two different things. There's a lot of things we need to study with this, I think. It's super interesting. And it's a bit sad because I don't think they'll find any way of actually changing this. So in all likelihood, I'll never be able to have any visual memory. I can't remember anything from my childhood. Really nothing visual. Running descriptions of memories and incidents and friends and houses and schools but nothing visual. Can't remember what any of my school friends look like other than the ones I now have on Facebook. Can't see any of my family in my mind. Nothing. It's yeah, and of course, until I knew that I had this, it's nothing that I ever thought about because I didn't know it was any different. Now I think about it. Yeah, pretty devastated about it. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre. I would be super interested to know if any of you already knew about this, if you maybe found this video because you recently realized you have it. Also, where you are on that spectrum. If you're in the middle, like most people, like what do you see? What do you see when you close your eyes? Like, how good is your imagination? Is it in black and white? Do you see colors? Can you see things moving? Is it just static images? How good is your visual memory? Can you see like your friends and family and things when you close your eyes? Like, can you remember your childhood? Are you a hyperfant? Are you one of those people that can overlay like things into your real world? That absolutely blows my mind as a concept. That is bizarre. Yeah. And how do you feel about it now you know? Like, if you knew nothing about this before you watched this video, how do you feel about that now? Does it freak you out a little bit that you know people can do that? Have I just ruined your day by giving you a new thing? Yeah, if anyone knows any other studies that are being done, if you've got any... There was a really good TED Talk, actually. Maybe I should have put that in here as well. There's a really good TED Talk. Easy to find on YouTube. I will stick it in the description, actually. That's a really good video. Yeah. Aphantasia and hyperphantasia. That is a thing that I have. That is a thing that I live with. And I find it really fascinating, but also super devastating. But it's a really good talking point, for sure. I've only met a couple of other people with it. I think, yeah, maybe like two other people that have this. Yeah, about 1 in... they're guessing. There haven't been big enough studies yet to really know. It's about 1 in 50 for aphantasia, about 1 in 100 for hyperphantasia. Again, those numbers could differ a lot after more studies. But yeah, that's crazy. It's so bizarre. Can't see a damn thing. Yeah, on a day-to-day basis, I don't think it changes much. I think it would have changed a lot at school. I think if I had known about this and, if they were diagnosing, if they were looking out for this, now like they look for other things like ADHD and things, and then they try and tailor your learning and the way you go through your educational life, I think this would have made a huge difference. Like all those times in school where when you're about to do exams and things and you're revising and you're going through books and books and books and it's like, here's a visual aid to help you remember this information. Thanks for that visual aid. Yeah, did nothing, but wasn't going to know. I thought it's like a hypothetical visual aid. Like, didn't know you're supposed to be able to remember it and recall it visually in front of you. That's why it is a visual aid. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for approximately 1 in 50 people. Could be higher than that. So that changes a lot when you're at school, really. And yeah, I wish I would have been aware of that then. I don't think it changes much for me now. Not really. But yeah, I hope you found this interesting at least. Hope I haven't ruined your day. Let me know in the comments where you are on the spectrum of hyperphantasia and aphantasia, and if you have any other sources and links of information for this, I want to read it all. Let me know. Thanks for watching.